Hey guys, hello to my 0 viewers at the moment, but this is actually my first time looking at some of the new stuff added to Minecraft. So this is been my first look at, the cactus flowers, the firefly bush, the pale moss, and, all this good stuff, all these goodies. So I just want to kind of go through some of the things I put together, and here is kind of overall putting it all together. First, I just kind of want to look at how the regular bushes and the sweet berry bushes kind of work together. I just kind of put this box here because, with the sweet berries and stuff, I thought it made sense. But I think the sweet berry bushes help kind of break up the regular bushes, and if you had the firefly bushes in between, he is so loud. But as I was saying, putting the firefly bushes and regular bushes with the sweet berry bushes, it just kind of breaks it up enough where you kind of have this like thick grass without actually having to put in grass. And I thought it just looked really cool for a nice little walkway. Over here, I used the cactus flowers, and I thought they looked like water lily flowers, especially when you put them on the oxidized copper trapdoors here. I think that these trapdoors look the most like lily pads, if that makes sense. But I mean, you can't put the cactus flowers directly on lily pads, which sucks. But like this, I think it just looks fairly beautiful, actually. I think it is phenomenal. And then more with the cactus flower over here, I thought if you were to put it with coral and amethyst, you could then put the cactus flowers into a minecart, just like that. And it just looks like you have like a crystal in a minecart. The thing with this is that you can't do that with the amethyst cluster, because it just sits on top. So I think it's a kind of clever way, in my opinion, to have more decoration in minecarts. I'll show a little bit more down there. And then with the dry grass, I know Grian has already used this and shown this off in his videos. But you can mix the dry grass with wheat, and I think it just looks fairly phenomenal. And I'm from good old sunny Arizona, and thinking about our native wildlife, it's tons of dry grass, but they just have really deep roots. So I thought just this look of poking out just roots at the bottom and the dry grass on top, I thought it just made a lot of sense, and I just thought it looked very interesting. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with this. And finally, I think I'm kind of most proud about, in some ways, is that you can use the short dry grass to almost look like a bird's nest. It's really hard to add decoration into trees, in my opinion, because it's like you can build tall trees and they can be the most gorgeous thing ever, but then there's just life missing from it. So I feel like by adding just a little short dry grass, you could add a parrot into there or a chicken or something, and you just have a little bird's nest. And so kind of over here, I have basically everything that I kind of talked about put together. I have this tree, attempt at a tree. I'm not the best at making trees. This is supposed to be an aspen. But if you come up here, I have the little bird nest. It's not really noticeable from below, but if you come up or like look at the side, it just is small little pop of detail that I think is missing in most Minecraft tree builds. And over here, I have a somewhat animated waterfall. I'm not the best with redstone, so I have a waterfall kind of cascading, and then I have this little bubble column with infinity tipped arrows. And I also have my lily pads, some mangroves, some frogs, and I just use some of the leaf litter and these wildflowers to kind of help create a little path and section off the rocky parts from the grass. And over here, I put more of the rooted dirt with the dry grass and regular hanging roots. I also threw in some pale hanging moss because I thought those also looked like roots. from on top, I kind of did more of the flowers, and I think it's really interesting to mix the pink petals with the wildflowers and put it along the edge of grass and like in between these little, not valleys, but little hills. Because if you think about it realistically, if it were to rain, the rainwater would kind of flow down, pile here, and it would flow down. And these sections would be more saturated with water as it goes down and cascades down the rainwater. And so it will probably be more fertile land. So I think it's just interesting to kind of tell a natural story with just how you lay out your wildflowers. And, you know, I'm not the best with redstone, so this is my crappy observer lines. But yeah, and then as you kind of come into here, into this small cave portion I built, I kind of put together the cactus flowers with the amethyst buds. You kind of just make this little mine shaft in here. I have all these plants on the top, and this minecart rail that's incredibly loud. And I just thought it made a really dynamic build. Additionally, with the cave entrance here, I thought putting the tall, dry grass in here is interesting. Because, you know, if you haven't been to Arizona, it's a weird mix between lots of desert and kind of prairie land, I guess. Not so much, but it's like a weird desert grassland. And there are a couple caves and stuff you can go explore, and little crevice you can go find in some of the mountains. And they always tend to have grass just in the entryway. I don't know what it is. It's normally just poking out and pretty long dead. And I just thought, you know, putting the dry grass here would really just kind of make it feel more alive and natural. I also used dead coral mixed in with cobble, andesite, and stone. I think it's one of the most phenomenal stone gradients you can use. So this is my little build here. I just kind of wanted to show off some ideas I had with some of the newer, and I know Pale Oak is a little bit older now, but just showing off some of the fairly new stuff that I've been messing around with. Next, I'm going to make a video on some bells I've been trying to develop, I guess. I want to make giant redstone bells that you can put into clock towers, and so that will probably be my next video. Probably fairly shortly. Probably get that recorded just after this, after I finish editing this video. Anyways, to whoever is watching, thank you. And if you have any ideas, comments, concerns, let me know. I am more than happy to oblige.